Hello, and welcome to the Biophilic Cities webinar series. I'm Amanda Beck, a research associate with the Biophilic Cities project at the University of Virginia. Through this series, we will hear from practitioners and researchers who are designing resilient and adaptive urban nature, are engaging the public to protect and enhance their blue and green infrastructures, and addressing environmental justice issues through research and on-the-ground projects. The Biophilic Cities project started at UVA in 2011 to explore and advance nature in cities. In the fall of 2013, the global Biophilic Cities Network was launched with partner cities spanning the globe from Phoenix, Arizona, Singapore, and Wellington, New Zealand. The webinar series is one of the many ways in which the new global Biophilic Cities Network will help to disseminate knowledge about the innovative work cities, organizations, and individuals around the world are doing. The series will consist of 8 presentations once a week until mid-November. To see the full schedule of topics and to register for one or more of the upcoming webinars, please visit our website at www.biophilic-cities.org/webinar-series. Next week, we will be hearing from landscape architect, artist, and urban planner Herbert Dreisaitl, founder of the firm Atelier Dreisaitl. Mr. Dreisaitl will speak about the important balance of green, blue, social, and healthy cities through design that is attentive to urban hydrology, sustainable engineering, art, and connecting citizens with nature. Due to the time zone differences, this webinar will take place on Tuesday at 8 p.m., Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Today, we will be hearing from Marc Grañén, Director of PHYTOKINETIC, Gardens in Motion. Having originally studied biology, Grañén decided to follow his passion of garden design and is a self-styled landscape artist. The PHYTOKINETIC project builds secure, lightweight, and beautiful green roofs on vehicles such as public buses and large trucks, instilling a delightful and unexpected brush with nature for urban residents while also increasing green infrastructure. In this week's webinar, Marc will talk about his work through PHYTOKINETIC and also his deep belief in increasing opportunities for children to connect with nature and to develop a nature ethic through projects such as edible green walls in schools. Marc will speak for 30 minutes, and then, as we have with all of our webinars, we'll take some questions from the audience. So I'm going to turn it over to Marc.
Thank you, Amanda, for this presentation. I want to agree. I want to thank all your team. I want to thank you and Carla and Kimberly for this invitation. I'm very proud and happy to be part of this amazing project you have started. Wow. First of all, when I go to a school or when I make a presentation or I'm in a congress, sometimes it's hard for me to define my work, my occupation. So I think I'm a sort of artist and landscape architect. First of all, if I show you this slide, so I define myself as a landscape artist because in most of my works I always introduce or express my point of view through art. As you can see in these pictures, the one on top of the left, this is a green wall made with grass plants, cactus. At the bottom, we can see a sort of short green wall reminding the 2001 Stanley Kubrick film, trying to express the need of a green intelligence between us. Then at the bottom, in the middle of the slide, you can appreciate in detail a part of edible wall made in a school, in which you can see a bird's wooden cage and some natural elements like branches. Then I also like to copy natural model. I like to observe and take a glimpse in natural environments. I like to see the birds, I like to see all the animals and how the plants grow, everything. So this inspires me a lot. I really think that we have a lot to learn from nature, because we're pretending to be sustainable. But if we take a look to nature, nature exists by itself because it's sustainable. Nature is very practice. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist, the nature, as we know it. Many thousands of millions before us in this planet, in this loving planet, there only live bacteria, which breathe sulfuric gas and excrete O2. Thanks to those thousands of bacteria, actually right now we've got our loving atmosphere. So it's thanks to those bacteria that actually we've got the planet in we live, in these conditions we know. Why I'm talking about this? Because this is very important. Nothing is going to happen to planet. Planet can exist without us, and planet can exist without nature. But don't be mistaken. We need nature to be alive. Without nature, we can't exist. So we must protect nature. In a very deep meaning of the biology point of view, we are part of the nature, so we must take care of it. Okay, once I said this, then I like to express all the art, all the artistic representation we can find in nature. So what I really like the best is try to get this art and put it into my creations. On the right top of the slide, you can see an outdoor shower. And this shower is made with a green wall, with aromatic and grass plants. Then at the bottom on the right, you can see a green wall with lightning mushrooms and sparkling lights like light bugs. So, and on top, in the middle, that's me, not into, but behind an aquarium. All these things are made by me, trying to express in the best way how I see, how I feel nature. Okay, then there's something very important. In this slide, I want to talk about the need, the great importance of the collaboration. Great projects can't be done without cooperative works. So I created PHYTOKINETIC, and I'm going to talk in a very short while about it. But I also work with very important companies that manage in different ways all the plants and green structures, which is Biophilic, that fortunately they are neighbors of my village. Then I work with a very important Catalan landscaper, Symbiosi, World Nature Foundation, Aquapro Systems for waterproofing my PHYTOKINETIC and also green roofs. So, unfortunately, there's most of the people who understand the work and their creations as a competition. I think this is a mistake. Of course, I try to protect my creations, but one thing is create, another thing is get into competition. And to go ahead with our society, it's very important to collaborate, to share experience, learn from other people, and try to teach other things. So I never hide. Not always the things I do come from my mind. So I like to learn, and I like to share experiences, technologies, and improve all together. This is, for example, how I am here right now speaking and talking about this, thanks to people like Tim or Carla or, of course, Amanda. Okay, starting with one of my main worries. We've got a problem. We've got a serious problem. and the problem are ourselves. So, as they say, the ancient Romans, homo lupus homini, which means man is a wolf for the man. We eat ourselves in a very disgusting way. So we are able to grow and grow and grow without taking any care about nature, which I was talking about in the beginning of my presentation. So this means that we have to deal with this policy of growing. As we have understood that we need nature very close to us. 2 years ago, I was in a conference in South France, in Nantes. There was an architect who was showing his new project, an amazing project for greening new neighborhoods, with green walls in the buildings, with green roofs on the tops of the buildings, very wide and beautiful parks. And I asked him at the end of his presentation, wow, man, what you have said and you have showed to us, sir, is very interesting and very neat. We need these spaces, but how can arrange and manage the center or the downtowns of many, many, many cities in the world? How we can deal with Chicago, how we can deal with Mexico DF, how we can deal with Center Barcelona, even being, or most of them, beautiful cities. We've got hundreds of Tokyos, Karachis, New Delhis, a lot of cities that unless we throw a bomb and make them disappear from the zero, we've got a serious problem. Okay, so in my humble opinion, the only one solution we've got is take a look around, because beauty is everywhere, everywhere. As you can see these beautiful pictures, when I show them and I ask to the people, why do you think they are taken? Some people say Madagascar, in the rainforest, for example. No, mistake. They are taken, all of them, no longer than 30 kilometers around my house. I live northeast Spain, in Bescanó, a small village, 100 kilometers from Barcelona. And from my house, I'm a very lucky person. I can find and enjoy all these landscapes. Okay, so then people, once they have checked that this is not the paradise, I say, yes, of course, this is the paradise, because we've got the paradise everywhere. The pity is that most of the times we are not able to appreciate it because we are very busy with many, many other things. Okay, so going back to the main problem, what we have to do is try to find the beauty in ourselves, understand who are we, where we live, then look around, and if we don't have the luck of living in a place like this or near like this, we can manage, because today there are no excuses. Everyone has internet. Everyone, or most of the people, of course, have access to books. We can start to change things with the knowledgement. It's very important to get rich in knowledgement. We have to understand and we have to learn and work. As I said in the beginning, nature exists because it's sustainable by itself. Okay, so when many people work creating green walls or green structures, which is amazingly beautiful because nature plus to being sustainable is wonderful by itself too. A green wall is beautiful by itself because it's full of plants and full of nature. But I think we have to go one more step going ahead. In this green wall I made, in collaboration with many of the companies I showed you before, this is the importance of work together with as many good companies as possible better. So this is in Tarragona, near Barcelona in Spain. We made 2,800 square meters of green wall, working in a project like waste to food. What means this? We use the Babylon system for the green wall, and as all this green wall needs a lot of water, what we can't do is watering and irrigate this green structure, this amazing green structure, with the potable common water we use in our house. This is crime. Of course we can't use this water because we need the water as the main resource in this planet. So what we did in this project was to capture the black waters from the underneath the streets. So the black waters are used through some biological filters, and then we irrigate with the black waters all this green wall. The plants take all the nutrients from the black waters, and through the plant and the soil from the green wall, all the black water at the bottom turn to gray water. And with gray water we can irrigate public spaces. And then with gray water also we can, with another process of osmotic, we can turn it to white water, which is drinkable. So the process waste to food is very important. Maybe not in this city, but almost yes, in many hotels or cities in small islands, like Easter Island or Round Island, many other islands, or many other cities that they can have the need of green structures without using white waters, drinkable waters. So this is very important. A green structure has to be sustainable, because if not, we're going to close ourselves the old project of greening our cities. They have to be sustainable. This is the most important thing. So, plus to the concept waste to food, we've got the other applications like refrigeration systems, thermal insulations, green walls and green roofs. They can work very good with this. So, finally, I took on the idea one day watching an aerial picture from Barcelona, which was full of buses in the middle of the street. And I knew how the concrete works. All this concrete working, creating and increasing the island effect. You know, the more concrete we have, the more heat in it a city. And we have to fight against this. So I was watching all these buses with the average of 20 square meters each one. And they were amazing surfaces to be in gardening. So then I talked with my two best advisors at work. I'm going to present you at the end of this presentation. Introduce them, sorry. So they told me, why don't you try to do something like this? And here I am, 1 year and a half, more or less, maybe 2 years after, then I created PHYTOKINETIC, which has been tested by engineers, by biologists, by mechanics. With PHYTOKINETIC, we've got a lot of benefits in the city. With 7 centimeters of winders, we can generate and create more than 4.5 centigrade degrees of insulation, which means more than 30% of energy saving in the own vehicle, avoiding cooling or heating the own vehicle depending on the season. This is very important. So, to create PHYTOKINETIC, what I did was make a perimetrical frame that allows water to go out, and instead of vegetable soil, I used hydroponic foam, or maybe a wool rock, which is a very organic material. It's very natural. with this kind of wall rock, it's made with mineral fibers. Water doesn't pitch into the surface, but always the humidity. Then I add a layer, a blanket of sedums, which breathe very few, and they need much less water. And over the carpet of sedums, then I add as many plants as I can, adapted to local climate. Okay, so with these plants, then I can create all the gardens in movement. Of course, then there's a metallic mesh that fixes everything on site. So with this metallic mesh, I can be sure that in case of sudden stop, nothing is going to move from the vehicle. So finally, we could pass all the traffic tests. So PHYTOKINETIC is a reality. It's not only beautiful, but it's practical. It helps to fix CO2. I work in collaboration with many engineers from University of Madrid. They are engineers, and they calculated that a normal or standard PHYTOKINETIC roof can fix the average of 20 kilos per square meter a year of CO2. More or less, it means the same CO2 that the vehicle can emit with all this weight added on top. Of course, the best thing would be to find an electric bus. I'm working and dealing with many companies. This is not easy, it's just the beginning. So it's fascinating, improving every month new skills and new projects and new point of views. Plus to this, we also have new spaces for urban biodiversity, which is very important. We need to increase our biodiversity in cities, from balconies, from terraces, from gardens, from public spaces, from the trees, and why not, from vehicles standing. So I have checked how a lot of butterflies, always depending if I have planted or added the right plants that attract butterflies and bees. We've got lizards, we've got ladybugs, we've got thousands of ants, we've got always frogs, which is amazing. I can't understand how they climb to the top of the vehicle, but they really do. Maybe next step will be to put on hidden camps and try to catch them in life. So here you are. We've got soil worms. Even they don't have all the base with vegetable soil, as I told you. But of course, when I plant a plant or when I put the sedums layer, they've got minimum part of soil. So they are full of soil worms, which help to enrich the garden. And as you can see, the frogs and the ladybugs, and on the top of left image, there's a bee flying over a strawberry. And we've got a lot of medical plants too. Edible plants, we've got spinach, we've got strawberries, we've got carrots, even carrots. Artichokes, lettuce, they can grow a lot. Of course, with my colleagues and friends from the University of Madrid, we are calculating now the rate of CO2 captured and fixed from these plants in order to know if it's absolutely healthy or not. Eat them. But by the way, this is an experiment. We are testing. We are improving. It's very necessary. We have to be brave and don't be afraid to prove. And as I can imagine, all the people who are listening to me right now and all the partners and fellows that have joined us to the Biophilic webinar sessions before and after me, all we can consider ourselves brave people. So, following with my PHYTOKINETIC project, it's an amazing pedagogical example. If you are living in a city, in which you can see the gardens moving on the top of vehicles. This is something very important that people can take in consideration. Imagine all the kids going to their schools at the bottom of an amazing gardening movement. The point of view changes a lot. If you are going to your work, if you are bored of your work, if you don't like the streets you are crossing by to go to the work or going back home, it's not exactly the same if you are being part of a garden. So the more gardens a city has, the more rich this is. Because as we live near the nature, we feel better with ourselves. Something is changing when we've got plants so near. So this is another point, another important point of phytokinetic. And of course, as this is something that has a real cost, it's not absolutely very expensive, but it takes its money, of course. It's very easy to find sponsoring, as it works as a best marketing effect. In many vans, in many private vans, like this one, Volkswagen, we have found it a very easy and fun resource to sponsor these phytokinetic groups. So don't be afraid if you think this could be a good idea for your city or for your company, because it really works a lot. Okay, and this is the first sketch for my phytokinetic project that they made my two advisors. Of course, they are my sons. Phytokinetic, like many other options, they become smart solutions, which we have to start from the bottom, from the beginning. We have to start from 0, and next step is 1, and next one is 2, and the other one is 3. So from 0 to 3, then we arrive to 5, finally to 10, and finally we have to discover that there are no limits. We have no limits, and we have to improve and check new skills. For example, the kids, they have thousands and infinite new skills, abilities that they have to discover. This is why I'm trying to get the phytokinetic concept, but in vertical way. So I started to create, plus to phytokinetic, I'm dealing in many projects at the same time at schools, because it's very important that the kids, they have to discover there's something more else than concrete near their lives. Maybe they don't have the nature, fortunately like I have, but if they drive with their parents, or if they walk 30 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 50 kilometers, they will find nature anyway, everywhere. And they have to appreciate it. So, when I started my project with edible walls at schools, with the intention to approach nature, it's very important that kids, they have to learn by themselves how they can be creative. So we started a common project with them. I give them some advices, but the main architect, the main landscape artist, became themselves. They create their projects, they create their drawings, they make all their designs, because at last this green edible wall will be in his school, in their school, in their schoolyard. So I think it's very important they have to create their own designs. And here we are, kids' rules. Of course, they practice maths and trying with the geometry of the green wall. They work language, because we start the project to choose the plants. They work with science. They work with many other concepts. As you can see, they made drawings, they made projects, they write projects, and many children that they don't like to study with this kind of project, they get really involved. So they love a lot to draw, to try to make mathematics calculations and they like to investigate and research by themselves as many concepts as possible. So they are discovering new applications of the study. So as we work many subjects, for example, on the right slide, you can see an irrigation system. It's a watering stopping system. When it rains, this engine stops the irrigation system. For example, this is very easy to and very economical system to save water. This is very important. And the left slide, you see a very curious and a very singular design they made. It's supposed that it will be a turtle in a couple of months when all the plants will be grown. This is good because the kids that designed this left slide, they belong to the turtle group at their school. So they decided to create a turtle with a green edible wall. This is perfect. It is lovely. So, as I said, math, technology, language, healthcare, biodiversity takes a place in their new edible wall. And in the same way that frogs came or come every day to phytokinetic groups, you can also find new frogs and soilworms and ladybugs, a lot of butterfly, new species and bees in these amazing edible walls. So even in the most deprived neighborhoods with very complicated school kids, most of them, they have family problems. Some of the kids, they have one or two of the parents at jail or with drug problems. This is a pity, and this is something very sad. But working with these projects, they can share the little with the old students. They share and start common projects. And every day they take care a lot of their new edible walls. They are learning by themselves. We can show them how to plant. We can show them what they can allow to the new green walls. So in our sessions, in our brainstorm sessions, what should you do in your new green wall? And they told me, we could do a disco light, we could touch the leaves of the plants and they became sound music. We can make a grid screen for PlayStation system. We can make a bar into the edible green wall with the aromatic and edible plants. So this is amazing how kids can imagine new concepts that I will never could realize. I love this slide. It's written in Catalan. Students of 4 and 5 years old. Don't touch our edible green wall because it's new and cool. This is great. So this is the best prize. When one of the kids in a very deprived neighborhood school, public one, he told me, Mark, what the fuck I need sunflowers in my schoolyard. This is for girls. I don't want flowers in my schoolyard. Neither I want butterflies and ladybugs. This is for little facts. Sorry for the language, but I'm transcribing exactly all the words he told me. Then I started to explain that maybe a bee can attract some kind of birds to eat them. And these kind of birds can attract a hawk. And this hawk can be a very interesting bird to see. Then I explained him with rosemary, if you shake it through your fingers and your hands, you are going to smell very good. If you go to the lavender, which is planted in this green edible wall, and you put the lavender in your neck, you are going to be like a dandy. Then you can chew some mint leaves, and your mouth will be very refreshed. So if you also eat some stevia leaves, everything in your mouth and in your stomach will roll very good. then you can go to that girl that I have noticed. How do you see and watch her? And then you can talk to her with a very different and new, good smelling. I'm not going to do this, Mark. He replied me. Okay, that's it. But when we leave, I found him, like as you can see, he was on the ground trying to notice that no one else was watching to him, and he was smelling that plant, checking if it was true what I was talking him 5 minutes ago. So this is the best result. For me, this is the best prize. In a very deprived school, Raimundo, with 7 years old, and one father in jail and one mother with a drugs problem, with a very hard reality, he was approaching to nature. Nature can bring him infinite of new opportunities. He has to be creative. He has to be brave. He has to trust himself. Of course, this is not easy. Of course, we need a lot of teachers, a lot of people taking care of him, and thousands of children around the world. That all then, they have to discover how plants can bring them lots of benefits with their health, with their creativity, with their knowledge, with everything. So this is, from my point of view, particular point of view, the great goal we have to keep. We have to keep on children. We have to learn children, and we have to learn from them. Because as in the same way that we teach them, we have to learn from them, because children can allow many new concepts that we have forgotten as adults. So, this being so, the horizon looks much better to me, because with this slide, as you can see, this is a building in a tree shape. This kind of building, I designed it in collaboration with my very close friend and also landscape, Jordi, from Symbiotic, one of the companies which I work with in many works. And he's an amazing artist. He made this picture you can see here. This building works as a whole tree. It captures the solar energy, it captures the wind energy, it captures the black waters from the beneath. It has thermal insulation, it has humidity inside, it recycles all the waters, it can allow birds and other animals community, even human community. So with PHYTOKINETIC, with edible walls, with schools projects, we've got a lot of work to do, because otherwise, as we could see in the beginning slides, with all these dirty cities we have all around our planet, we've got the trouble. So, as in the same way we are the trouble, we also are the solutions. We are the solution, sorry. So, I hope you have enjoyed, and I think, and I hope that maybe I could allow and bring you some new concept that maybe will help you. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, Mark, we have a few questions, and let's see.
Sure.
How do you filter the black water and use it in a green wall while controlling smell?
Well, yes, this is a very good question, Amanda. As I told you, first of all, when we take the black water, we use some biological filters. This is very important. And with there are 3 steps, 3 kind of different kind of biological filters. Before we use the black water for irrigation. So I'm so sorry that I can't give you many technical details, because I'm not the technical who designed it. I only can explain you the theory. But it works like in this way. There are 3 or 4 biological filters before we can use the water for irrigation.
Okay. Someone also wanted to know, when you calculated for CO2, did you take into account extra fuel consumption because of the weight of the plants, or the aerodynamics, the plants messing up the aerodynamics?
Well, yes. The aerodynamics is a parameter that it doesn't affect in reality to the total weight or the total consumption of the fuel. We took in consideration many different parameters. One of them was the weight. I'm not sure in the States, but in Europe, the traffic law says that for every 68 kilos you add the more on top of a public transport, you are going to lose a passenger, a standing, not a sitting, but a standing passenger inside. And I have found that many people say me, okay, you see, this is not going to work. Nothing happens. Don't worry. We see daily a lot of public transport, a lot of public buses with air conditioners on top, with electric engines, with gas engines, with publicity and commercials on top, which are added weight. So with PHYTOKINETIC, the maximum weight in a full used green roof of a public transport, 20 square meters, it means no longer than 2,000 kilos, which is absolutely nothing for a bus. And this weight of PHYTOKINETIC roof we have added to the public bus compensates it's exactly the same CO2 fixed of the extra weight. So the more weight the bus has, the more CO2 creates, okay? But this extra fuel burned and this extra CO2 is the one that the own PHYTOKINETIC roof is going to capture. So at the end, we stay at the same level that if the bus hasn't got the PHYTOKINETIC roof.
Oh, okay. What do they look like in the winter? Do the plants winter well?
Okay, this is the most amazing and the most beautiful point of PHYTOKINETIC. PHYTOKINETIC is a concept that it has to be done locally. So we are going to use local plants adapted to local climate. So right now I'm doing a project and I'm very close to start it, a project in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's absolutely hot and it's absolutely humid. So the plants I have designed for this project are very different for another project I'm doing in Jordan, in Africa. In Jordan, the average temperature is 60 degrees, centigrade degrees. So it's absolutely dry and hot, nothing of humidity. It's absolutely hot, the air burns. So we are going to work with local plants, most of them cactus and sedums. Of course, in Jordan, the green roof is going to work as a CO2 capture in a very low level, because cactus and sedums are chem or seed-full plants, so they work manifold breathing. The capacity of fixation is very low in comparison with the plants we are going to use in Brazil, which they can be with very big leaves that capture a lot of CO2. But we have to take in consideration that green roofs of in PHYTOKINETIC roofs not only work as a CO2 capture. They work as a thermal insulation, they work as a sparing biodiversity systems, and they work fighting against the island effect. And of course they work as an inspirative and pedagogical example, greening the city.
Do you think the Rio de Janeiro project and the one in Jordan, are you ready to kind of go to market, kind of go mainstream and move beyond the prototype?
Of course. What happened is that the project in Brazil had to stop for the elections. You know, they finally finished this week in course. So now we are restarting again the project, which was in 75% of its evolution. Because this is not easy work with public administration. There are a lot of papers, there are a lot of permissions to do. And as it's an absolutely new project or new kind of urban gardening, you have to talk and give and allow a lot of explanations and calculations. But nothing happens. This is my work, and I'm loving it. I'm working in many different projects at the same time.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Marc, for sharing the PHYTOKINETIC project with us. It was really wonderful to see how people are moving beyond this sort of in-the-box sustainability to planting green infrastructure in unexpected places and really reaching urban populations in new ways. So thank you so much for speaking, and thank you everyone for attending. Join us next week for Herbert Dreiseitl's webinar, which will take place not on Wednesday, but Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. in the evening, Eastern Daylight Time. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda, and thank you all the team that has worked and made this possible. I have enjoyed a lot, and hopefully my words have inspired someone. This is the most important. Thank you very much for everything.
Thanks.